Clearly, they're up 3-1.
Yeah.
But the mentality for them is they're going in down 3-1. Now, there are different qualifications of gentleman's sweep, but what we know to be true is this. A gentleman's sweep is if somebody beats you 4-1. If that's the outcome, that's a gentleman's sweep. Now, Shady, the brooms aren't necessarily in hand, but they've been called for. Sweep! They've been called for. Shady, what in the world would a gentleman's sweep mean for the Nuggets if, in fact, they win a match?
Talking about Coach Malone, he out of pocket. Like, bro, it's been enough, man. You're up 3-1. He talking about we're down 1-3. No, bro, take it easy, please. Take it easy. About 40 points. Anyway, what would it mean to me that Heat team, because we talked about the talent, that the talent really mattered, right? We kept saying, well, no, you know, they're here, they're in the finals for a reason, they play hard. Yeah, that's cool and all that. Now we're seeing a team that plays hard, like the Heat play hard, right, with way better talent. And I think that if they beat these guys 4-1, it really means that the talent really mattered between the gaps of Denver having more talent than the Heat. We talked about the free agents. Oh, they got these free agents, this and that, At this level, at this experience they have, they're not free agents, they're players. No. They're free agents. Because guys like Aaron Gordon, who's not the main star on that team, but he's a top 5 pick, and he's showing it, he's playing like it. I do like Michael Porter Jr., who's not playing great, but even his talent being such a bigger role, a bigger part than with the talent they have for the Heat, he's making a small impact when he's not even playing well. So I got to go to that the talent is the biggest difference between the Heat and the Nuggets.
Slick, where would you stand if, in fact, the Nuggets do close this one out at home? 5 games. I believe you predicted Nuggets in 5. I believe you did that. So you've been on top of this for a while now. What would that mean for Denver?
I believe that it confirms a lot of the things that we suspect right now and a lot of big picture things about the Denver Nuggets. First of all, I can't forget that we came into these playoffs wondering if they really were the best team in the Western Conference just because they had the best record.
Right.
Well, with this run, what they've done would confirm to me this was no mirage, right? It wasn't they got, you know, there's people, excuse me for saying this, Joy, I do apologize in advance. There are people that would say if Giannis hadn't gotten hurt and if there was various things that happened along the way that the Miami Heat wouldn't be this team in the finals representing the Eastern Conference. I don't know that there's anything that you can say that would suggest that the Denver Nuggets don't deserve to be here. You look at maybe Chris Paul getting injured with the Phoenix Suns, but they've just been so dominant, right? Every step of the way. So I give them that. It's also, we talk about the Miami Heat and the culture that they have and how they've developed players. And I can't help but think if they close this says something about the Denver Nuggets culture. Because these are, other than Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, none of these guys have won a ring.
No experience.
Like, they're figuring it out along the way. And Nikola Jokic came into the league as a second-round pick for a reason. Because he wasn't this Nikola Jokic. Aaron Gordon wasn't this in Orlando.
Not at all.
Michael Porter Jr., for the way he's played for the better part of this season in the playoffs, wasn't Michael Porter Jr. So I want to give credit to Denver demonstrating they've gone toe-to-toe, to Shady's point. Like, the talent has won out because Denver has demonstrated they can be everything that Miami is in every other category. And I think one of the reasons why he said down 3-1, we got to play like we're down 3-1, if that was just a general statement, you'd go, come on. They know what that's like. When they were in the bubble.
Twice.
They came back down
That's right.
from being down 3-1. So that means something added to this group. And so if they come and demonstrate that they have that to close it out, like, we got to give we got to put the Nuggets on the same level as the Miami Heat in terms of what that organization has created.
Joy, we're not talking to you very nice right now.
No, I don't have a problem saying nice
many
things
Miami
about the
compliments
Nuggets.
as I could.
I'm not going to jump to the Nuggets or the Miami Heat as an organization if they win one championship. But what I will say about if they win tonight, to me it says a lot about the Nuggets and what they have been able to overcome, because we're kind of skipping the process that the Nuggets have gone through. Like you said, we didn't expect the Nuggets to be in this situation, and they were the best team in the Western Conference this year. We talked about the Eastern Conference being the better team, like that team's going to win the championship all season long, even at the beginning of the postseason. And they've gone through their struggles through the postseason over the past few years. They've been there, then they get knocked out, then they have injuries. So they've really been able to put everything together on this run. They've won dominantly and beat great players on the way to this finals run. But I think it also really validates Jokic, who was a player that, to your point, got drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, very infamously. We've had a lot of questions. Is he, picking up stats during the regular season? That doesn't really mean anything when it gets to the postseason. So does he really deserve to win, 3 straight MVPs? And I was one of those people. But we can see with our eyeballs now how good he is. Not just big, because big men can look dominant. Distributing. He is a knockdown three-point shooter. That's insane. He doesn't have to jump to get rebounds, and he can just shoot a 3. You have to defend him at the arc. Like, that's crazy. What he's been able to do and develop into as a player, if they win, really, it doesn't matter to me how they win, but if they win, I think it will really speak to not only everything that they've been put together, because they earned it. Like, they've earned it over the past few years, getting better each and every year, but also him as a player, his MVPs. He'll obviously be finals MVP if they win. And that'll put him into a different category as far as the best players in the game right now.
Slick, let me try to take and borrow from what you said and to some degree what Joy said. When the Nuggets win, assuming the Nuggets do win, I think a Nuggets championship, it notarizes their performance. And we've all dealt with different notaries, right? What's a notary? It's that anti-fraud government agency that certifies your identity. We don't know the identity of the Denver Nuggets. They were a 1 seed all season long, but we questioned if they were really going to get here. We didn't know if the Nuggets were going to get past the Suns. Didn't know if the Nuggets were going to get past the Lakers. Jokic, he's a 2-time regular season MVP, but we didn't know just how good he was because his performances had yet to be notarized. They had yet to be certified that this dude is actually as legit as his paperwork says he is. We tried to say that, well, it is the rise of analytics which gave Jokic an MVP. Some people tried to take away Jokic's accomplishments, bringing different things like race and other attributes into the picture. We saw the paperwork, but it hadn't been notarized. They win in the dominant fashion that they have been winning. I think it's that stamp of approval. It's to say that all of the papers which we have seen are not fraudulent, and you are exactly who your resume said that you are. Shady, to me, there's something about winning a title, but there's something about doing it as dominantly as the Nuggets are currently doing it. They have not won yet, America, but they are plus 38 through 4 games. What's the dominations?
I'm going to say this. It's the start of this era for the Nuggets, right? We talk about all the other dynasties from the Warriors, the Bulls, all these, the Lakers. I'm going to say this, man. It might be crazy, but this might be the start of that era where the Nuggets might start running the league. Think about it. This playoff run, they lost 2 to the Suns. They lost 1 to the Warriors, or to the Wolves. The Wolves, and then the other one was who? Nobody.
That's it. Just the Heat.
1 to the Heat.
And 1 to the Heat.
That's dominant. So you got one of the best players in the league. I'm gonna say he's the best player in the league, right? That's what you need. Then you got a lot of role players that's not selfish. They love to play with each other. Then you got a emerging superstar, Jamal Murray. They play defense. They're well coached. They draft well. They pick up players well in free agency. Who to say that they might not run off and start becoming that team that runs the league?
Well, you are something until you're not, right?
That's right.
So you're not a champion until you are a champion. And when you become a champion, then you can say, okay, all this paperwork I had, what do you mean?
I mean, we talking like they not about to win a championship.
No, we're doing this hypothetically as if they are.
Oh, it's over, Joy.
I'm saying
it's over, Joy
it's
Taylor.
over when it's over. That's not the point I'm trying to make. What I'm saying is he has all these accolades. They have been building a good culture. That's what I mentioned about the past couple years, their playoff runs. So us doubting them coming in was because they hadn't won a championship. If they had come into the West as a #1 team in the Western Conference to this postseason after winning a championship last year, we would be treating them differently.
Well, I want to make something clear, though. Because of Jokic doing what he's doing now, doesn't necessarily mean that we had it wrong prior to this.
No.
In terms of who he was. One, he's in much better shape than he's ever been. So he's been able to sustain his excellence. He's a better defensive player, in part because of that condition, than he's ever been. And they've obviously put together a very good team. There are other guys who have evolved on this. So as much as I want to say it confirms a lot of things about the Denver Nuggets, I also want to be slow in, like, giving it all this meaning.
We have to go Slick.
No, we
have.
we don't. Well, I want to put it in context because we're immediately like, well, where do we put him among the all-time greats, and where do we put him among the all-time centers? And I want to take into account who he has played along this way. Compared, what?
You want to make me say way too many nice things about the Nuggets today, Slick? All right, I'm already a little on edge. What are you about to say? Come on.
I ain't here for either.
He beat LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
Yep.
Swept the Lakers with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
Sweet.
Look, Anthony Davis, a power forward.
Top 75 player. Keep
We're
going.
talking about
Top 75 player. Keep going, Joy.
Kevin Durant, get to
Kevin Durant.
Top 75.
We're not going to talk about the first round, but
I'm talking
Kevin
about-
Durant and Devin Booker.
Come on.
I'm talking about
you talking
the
about, Slick?
Nikola Jokic matchups.
I mean, you can't do
Yo, no, he out there balling. He can't do that.
right now.
Like, nah, this is not.
Do you want me to go through?
Yo, that's what. Yo,
You want me to go
that's
through-
what we do, though.
Do you want?
That's what we do. We do that. As people on TV, we do
I'm
that
not
because
gonna do it.
No, real talk. When he would have all his triple doubles and all that, we like, oh man, he's all right. He ain't doing it against nobody. He didn't do that in the playoffs. He ain't doing the championship.
Who would he have
And
to
now
play
he gets
with?
there and we hating on him.
What do you got to do, Slick?
Who would he have to be
What do you
playing
gotta
down
do?
the
Yo, you
line?
big hater right now.
All I want to do is put it into context in terms of who he has faced.
This is
If I take Shaquille O'Neal and who he had to go through, he had to go through David Robinson and Tim Duncan. He had to go through Rasheed Wallace and Arvydas Sabonis. He had to go through all of these.
This is crazy.
Legitimate all-star centers to get there.
Can I ask you this? Because I don't think you are wrong in your conclusion. I think you're wrong in your premise. Back in the day, the league was different, as you know better than I do.
Yes.
So back in the day, every team, as you said this on The Herd, you said this on our show, every team had a 7-2 guy on the starting lineup and on the bench. The league is different now. So really the point that I would make, to take your baton and run with it, hopefully in the right direction, the point that I would make, Slick, is that the league is now going to have to adjust. To them. We've seen this happen in the NFL. As soon as people started running the zone read, you know what? Hey, 240-pound linebackers, you're out. 220-pound linebackers, you're in.
Good
point. I would say, I see what you're saying, but I would take it and say, in all honesty, every team's now going to have a Robert Williams like the Celtics. Every team's now going to have a 7-foot guy. We tried to get away with having Draymond Greens be your 5 if need be, and we'll throw Looney in there for 6. But no, now every team's going to have a Looney and some in the starting line.
100%. And all I'm saying is, if I'm taking this one particular run to a championship,
That's crazy.
and I'm now using it to validate all of the previous, or answer all of the previous questions, not only the previous questions that we had, but to suggest moving forward, he deserves to be in the same category as the guys who did it multiple years.
Let's take a break. Let's come back to this. Let me take a break.
Because we're going to forget about
come back to this very conversation.
Timberwolves have a deepest player of the year. Just so you
we
know
was
that.
kumbaya and holding hands.
It was too much. It was too much. There was too nicety here. I was tired of it.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.